What's up everybody, Soul here with another Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles video, and today we're going to cover a topic that I have been asked to cover quite a bit, and that is ENTICE. Invitation. Recruiting random units, monsters, to our team and having them in our roster. And so I see a lot of people asking for this guide, some more information on it, and I kind of hate to say it, but it's really simple and sweet and hard to really cover in great detail. And that is, let's click on this ability right here, ENTICE. You have a success modifier that is simply and only your Zodiac compatibility. And then past that, the only thing that impacts it is your magic attack. So it'll be your magic attack plus 20. I have tested this rigorously. I have tried different support abilities, including magic boost and you name it, and nothing else thus far from what I've seen has impacted it whatsoever. So if your character has 10 magic attack, as my Orator does, plus that 20, you will have a 30% chance to recruit a unit with neutral Zodiac compatibility, as in no Zodiac compatibility. And so that is really tough and means that we're going to have a really hard time increasing this and making it better. Your magic attack is literally all you are limited to. So when we take a look at our Orator and we look at the abilities and the things that we have at our disposal, we see that Orators use knives, guns, and bags. There is a bag that gives a +1 to magic attack, and that's the crocodile bag. And so you can throw that bad boy on there. Then your robes, you're going to want to have a wizard robe. Make sure you got your wizard robe on there with a +2 magic attack. And then you're going to bring in your hat. Well, your hats are pretty limited as far as what you can do. None of the hair ornaments are giving you magic attack. And your hat that's giving you the best magic attack, they're all pretty equal at 1. In my opinion, you're going off with the Lambit hat. That's your best bet because you're getting some decent HP, 1 magic attack, and 1 speed. So pretty good stuff there. We always want that speed. And then your accessories. So you could easily see that the best accessory as far as magic attack is tied between Genji Glove and Mage Power Glove at a +2. But I kind of would recommend going with the Septium. And that is a perfume. It has a +1 magic attack, but it has an innate ability. It starts you invisible and equips you with haste. So you're sacrificing that 1 magic attack, but with that on, you will have the best setup for your Orator to have the highest chance to recruit or entice. However, literally each +1 magic attack equates to 1% chance. Literally just 1%. So it's kind of not a huge deal in the end of the day. In fact, the best thing you can do to increase your entice chances is to get off Orator altogether. So when we take a look here at Black Mage and we look at their stat spread, we see that Black Mage, which has the highest magic attack multiplier in the game as far as their stat multipliers, they have 130, which is 42% better than your stat multiplier for Orator. They are higher yet than the Summoner, which is 4% higher, which I think it came out to be 125, but apparently 126 as a stat multiplier. And it's higher even still than the Mystic, which the Mystic, it has an 8% increase over, I believe the Mystic's 120, but according to percentile, it says they're about 122. Regardless, it's all same, but different. So when you're on your Black Mage, you can take a look at your equipment. You can see that you have more or less the same options as what you do on an Orator. You can wear the bag, but you can also wear a rod. And when you're wearing a rod, you have 1 rod that gives you a +2 magic attack, which is the Wizard's Rod. And so that's your extra 1% chance coming off of that, plus your stat multipliers. Everything else is same. You've done all the changing for equipment-wise, only a 1% increase in odds, but in stats, you're going to gain roughly about a 42% increase in odds compared to the Orator. Let's click this right here and have a looky-loo. And so, yeah. And that's your stat multiplier, right? That's not a 1-for-1. So you're not going to have a 42% chance higher probability of recruiting by switching to Black Mage. But it's multiplicative. So if you're running and you say you have, a 10 in your magic attack, just base outright, that black mage is going to get more for you, and it's going to ultimately result in like a increase of, say, 3 to 4% in your overall chance. Now that gets better and higher with stat growths. And so stat growths are determined by your job that you're on when you get your levels. And so that's where you kind of get into breaking the game, using the level traps, de-leveling on a job with low stat growths, and then leveling back up on a job with high stat growth, say mine, which is the only job in the game that has a magic attack stat growth. And so you grow that into an astronomical number, then you see your big differences, and then everything changes, so on and so forth. But at that point, it's kind of moot what job you're on, because you're kind of breaking the game regardless. And so, unfortunately, in the end, when it comes to those entices and increasing your odds, there's nothing you can do in the game to increase your odds. There's not a status element you can inflict on your opponents. There's not it's something you can do to affect faith or bravery. It's going to have a difference. It's literally just your magic attack, which is sincerely limited to the job that you're on for that stat multiplier, as well as your stat growths, and then the equipment that you have on. So, all in all, your entices are kind of fixed at a low rate. It's tough. It's really, really tough until you start breaking the game, and so on and so forth. Let me know in the comments if you want a guide on how to do stat growths and what's the best way to do that. I'll be more than happy to cover it. But until then, you're more or less limited in what you can do with those entices, with what you have in your armada, which is honestly, you're looking at an average of, let's say, 30 to 40%. Now, the biggest thing that has an impact on those stat growths, those entices, is literally your Zodiac compatibility. So when you have no compatibility or it's neutral, of course it's zeroed out, there's no big difference, there's no multiplier. If you have a bad compatibility, then you lose 25%. So it's a 0.75 multiplier. But if you have a good compatibility, it's a 1.25 multiplier. If you have the best multiplier, or the worst, depending on gender, you will have a 1.5 multiplier or a 0.5 multiplier. So what's the best thing to do if you really want to entice those units and have the best odds of enticing enemy units? Have tons of units that have entice in their arsenal. Have each gender and have each sign, zodiac sign, and when you see one you like, check its zodiac sign, make sure that what you have is the best at getting it, and then boom, you will see a sincere steep increase in your odds. I saw my Orator jump from 36% chance of recruiting someone all the way up to about 45% chance because of a good Zodiac compatibility. And so that's a pretty decent odd. And if you could really go beyond that, you're kind of just breaking the game. So it makes sense, but that is what it's sincerely limited to, is your Zodiac odds. As you can see, there's quite a few differences here, but yeah. Which Zodiac compatibility is something else I can cover. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. But that is more or less, and sadly, the gist of it, guys. Your Orator is very much limited. And that goes for all Orator abilities. They all scale off magic attack. As you can see, that probability is based off of that period dot. Intimidate has amazing odds of landing. It literally is a plus 90 to its accuracy. Preach, plus 50. Doesn't have the same effect. So you're more than likely to miss initially. It has a very low odd. And then praise, it's the same as preach, of course. Beg, plus 90. Whoa. So it naturally has a great ability. And so it's also, of course, impacted by speed. And then you have something like, Mimic Darlavon. And so this has a very low odds of hitting at a plus 40, plus your magic attack. But that Entice, which is what we all love, has arguably the lowest at a plus 20. So your magic attack value plus 20, which is going to consistently put your odds at roughly, give or take, 30-ish until you get up in levels and get those stat growths booming. So Sorry guys, there's not a lot you can do here. There's really not a lot of information. There's not a lot of testing to be had. The support abilities, once again, do not impact your ability to entice as of what I have seen. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree or if you know something I don't know. It's always possible. I don't claim to know everything, as I don't. So please understand that. It's not my goal to spread any misinformation or to lie. I'm simply trying to be an asset and help the community and enjoy this game that I love dearly. So let me know down in the comments what you think and what this means to you and you're playing a Zodiac, your Oracle, Orator. Wow, I'm going to call it everything I can. Your Orator. With that said, once again, I have to repeat, your best probability of enticing will be done off of a mage class Sincere with a high magic attack stat multiplier. Black Mage is number 1, Summoner is number 2, Mystic comes in arguably number 3. White Mage is not too shabby either. It's right up there with Mystic, doing a pretty daggum good job in that way. Let's take a look at Mystic. Yeah, so it's behind Mystic, but it's still up there. It's pretty good. Time Mage is really good too with that stat multiplier, just as well as Black Mage. So Black Mage, Time Mage, Summoner, really good options for that. Of course, you check out Geomancer. It's down there with White Mage, but it's still better in most jobs. You've got options. Long story boring, but that's what you're going to do best with on those entices. So Black Mage, Time Mage, Summoner are your best jobs for enticing, with Speechcraft being a sub job or sub ability. I wish you luck, everyone. Huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. I deeply appreciate you. You guys and gals are the ones that make my content creation possible, and you keep the lights on, keep everything going. So make sure you check out the link down below for the Patreon if you're interested in supporting the channel. It really makes a huge difference. And also check out that link for our Discord where we talk all things Final Fantasy and then some. We'd be more than happy to have you with us. And until next time, I will catch you guys later. Bye.